of ENTP, everybody. Yeah. Oh, do we ENTPs know how to make an entrance or what? I am your host, Daparu, the Crusha. Oh, well, a lot of you have been wondering what I've been up to and how I spent my summer. The answer is I've been up to a lot, and in fact, just roll tape. Besides having a great time writing new music in the studio with my friends, one of my greatest creations that's brought me more joy than anything this summer was creating this 3,500-gallon koi pond oasis in my backyard. It's the perfect place to relax and have a great conversation with your friends. And most importantly, my fish, they love the new sanctuary. Let's see, what else? I married a couple you all might remember from episode 5, Zainab and Rex Bergeron. So congratulations for them. No, sir, I married them. I didn't marry them. I'm not a polygamist. I just helped them tie the knot. What's that? No, sir, I'm not a Boy Scout. I do know how to tie a knot. All right, and let's see, what else has been going on? Oh yeah, I built 3 A-frames with my best friend of 37 years, Todd Millar, for his Airbnb experience. Great for events and baking classes with that giant wood brick oven Todd and I built a year ago, which I named the Todd's Mahal. So we've been really busy baking artesian sourdough bread and wood roasted coffee for the public and fundraising events, teaching bread and wood-fired brick oven pizza classes, and quickly building a community of friends in Yakult, Washington. No, sir, I said friends in Yakult, not friends in a cult. Okay, they won't be serving any grape Kool-Aid, so you'll have to bring your own. Anyways, moving right along, I bought this toaster, so I have a place to put my bread now. And I also restored my 1985 Elite Deluxe 150 Honda scooter that I bought brand new 38 years ago when I was only 15 years old. Now it's a collectible antique. Whoa, that makes me ancient, I think. I don't know, I'll research that later, but now we need to start the show before I get any ancienter, all right? My next guest just so happens to be the creator and CEO of Type School. She's an ENTP 3-wing 4, all the way from deep in the heart of Texas. It's Mengju. All right, now, great to have you on board. This is, everybody give a great big hand for Hugs Bunny. Yes, thank you for coming on to the show. Woo-hoo. All right, yeah, so welcome to Club ENTP. I'm so glad to have you on. You reached out to me this fall, and now here you are. We're talking about the Type School, where you have graciously offered to make me an instructor to teach people. I guess, what am I going to be, the Dean of Chaos? What is that? I mean, you got a great bunch of people on there. You got Matt Sherman, who is with Geek Psychology. By the way, give him a hand. He's 44K subscribers, 44,000 subscribers. Good job. And what is Eric Thor? He's just about ready to hit 41,000. Good job for Eric Thor. Love that guy. And also, there's, Dr.
Dario Nacho.
Yes. We'll give people, the audience, a kind of an idea of what your staff is looking like. So, welcome to Club ENTP, and I wanted to ask you right off the bat, what made you come up with this idea? Because I know, number one, I know the story. Number two, as soon as I learned MBTI, I instantly wanted to come up with something similar to what you're doing to create this community of people and get things done. So it's remarkable that you had the same epiphany. But I would like, for you, in your words, you can tell the PG version or the
Yeah.
whichever version you choose.
Well, I think your audience can handle the unabridged version, so I'm going to tell that.
Good, nice.
Because I love the story, and I like that you use the word epiphany, because that's kind of what happened. So I was visiting a friend, actually a fellow ENTP, and we decided to get some gummy edibles, some weed edibles. And I almost never smoke. I mean, a handful of times, but it's just not something I've habitually done. But we got something so strong that the warning label said, warning, these, F. And, but, me and my little experience and low tolerance, I was like, let's go for it. So we took, I think, initially half, and then like the other half in a few hours later, and started to watch the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I have no memory of course, but it's apparently pretty trippy. So I think it made it all that more trippy. So I started watching that, and then before the movie was over, I completely broke from reality, and like completely. And so to keep myself tethered to reality, I kept having to repeat to myself, Melissa is a real person. She's in the other room. Melissa is a real person. She's in the... I swear to God, for like 24 hours straight, I had to keep repeating that to make sure I was still like, grounded. And a few hours into this, I just sitting there and had this idea, and I busted out my notepad on my phone and just started writing and writing. And I was like, Type School. I had the name right away. It was like Type School, an online school based on with courses based on personality type. We'll bring in experts and creators of type content, and then I had all these ideas. I mean, it was this long, but it just coalesced immediately in my altered state. So it took a few days to get down from that and kind of remember what reality felt like, but right when I got home a couple days later and started working on it, immediately recruited a amazing team, and got to work. So there
Excellent.
we are.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think that when you realize the power of MBTI, Myers-Briggs type indicator, in action, whereas we don't see it in action right now. I instantly thought, we've got to teach this in every school, from kindergarten on. And think about the bullying that would end. Think about the wars that would end eventually. So these are the ideas that, were you thinking the same stuff? Like,
Oh, absolutely. So I discovered, I've known about MBTI from, the school tests, but it didn't really click for me until a few years back when I learned about the cognitive functions. And there was someone kind of whispering in my ear about it for the better part of a year, and then an ENTP, and then at one point, maybe a year into it, something clicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, this stuff is profound, and I could no longer unsee the world without this lens. It's kind of like being able to smell for the first time. You can't unsmell, like
especially not with this nose. I mean,
right? Yeah.
Yeah, fat chance with me. But yeah, it's really you can't put the genie back in the bottle. You've now known good and evil as they did in the Garden of Eden, if you believe in that thing. It's just like the veils have come off. Now you're seeing the world for who and what it is, and the people around you. So instantly it healed my relationship with my sister. I've only got one sibling, and she's an INFJ, so it's kind of, she really didn't understand me, and I really didn't understand her until finally, about 4 years ago, my daughter brought me into the understanding of, hey, it's 16 personalities, and I was teaching my kids from the beginning about 4 different personality types that I was writing a book about. And that's the great thing. When you approached me, you reached out to me, is like, I thought, you know what? I'm never going to finish this book, Knowing the Self, where I break down the actual physical and spiritual elements of the animal that sits in front of you. And so I started writing on that about 10 years ago, and I've just put it off. And the editing, the writing and editing, I can't even imagine doing it. So this was like, wait a minute, I could give a course, and instead of writing each chapter, I'll actually video and film the actual meaning. And you know what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And when I can use that information to help other people, other students of type school, then I'm actually doing something very, very worthy. And we help one person, and that one person could go to help many. So this is a chain reaction.
Absolutely. And one of the things I've noticed from being in the type community for a few years now is that there's a lot of the conversations are around either entertainment, like, oh, what is this fictional character's type or this celebrity's type, or conversations or debates about the theory itself, like, oh, what is an I? You know, what's your definition of it? You know, what are the true, you know, ISFP qualities? But there was limited, at least, you know, public content about, you know, functionally applying the methodology and the theory to everyday life, you know, to improve your relationships, your work, your understanding of yourself, you know, like we talked about the world, you know. And so, and I'm sure people, you know, at a smaller scale do use it to improve their own relationships and understand the people that they're close to. But I think there's so much more opportunity for that. You know, we can codify some courses and some, you know, some actual learning frameworks around this, and help people develop as the best version of their type from experts in that type. In addition to kind of tailoring learning based on your cognitive stack. You know, I'm sure an INTP teaches physics much differently than an ESFP, you know, for example. And then based on the student's personality type.
Sorry, ESFPs. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you.
I'm trying to use all the types, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I think learning is going to be highly, you know, based on the fit between instructor and student. You know, you're speaking different languages. You know, these are very different, you know, brain processes at work, and so it stands to reason that learning, you know, follows suit. These functions, yeah.
And for whatever your major is, like, if you're into marketing and you're like, you know, I want to hear somebody in this particular personality type for marketing. How do they approach marketing? And as a marketer myself in you know, my life, I used just 4 different quadrants with extroverted or introverted and their perceptive or judging qualities. So if they're an EP, they're like me, Tigger, you know, and I would give him, like, Winnie the Pooh is he's an IJ, and Rabbit is an EJ, and Piglet is an IP. And so, you know, we could just break people up into these 4 groups, and I used that for my marketing because I approached each person in the way, if they were, let's say they were, you know, soft-spoken, I would be soft-spoken. And let's say they're really down to business. They're from, you know, the great state of Texas, you know, and they're, you know, woo-ha, you know, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing great, you know. Or they're, you know, they're an EJ, and they're like, listen, I don't have much time. Oh, I understand, me too. Hey, listen, let me get to the point right away. So you approach people in the way that they present themselves, but you have to learn to listen, and without, because a lot of times it's with just your ears, and we know that 80% of what is, you know, communication is nonverbal. So only 20% is the words that they're saying, but how they say them, you have to have that as the nuances of the art of the deal in marketing. I don't know if that's a book title, isn't it? Yeah, it's somebody's book title. I don't know who, but yeah, there's all kinds of uses for how do you make money on you know, by determining people's personality types. And I discovered a way a long time ago that actually helped me become very successful in down in California, the law firm. And yeah, a lot of great. So you can go marketing, legal, you name it. Yeah, so it really opens it up. So just because I'm an instructor for, you know, as an ENTP, I would expect all types to come, you know, hear certain aspects of the way that I interpret maybe marketing or approaching the self and, you know, who we are. So
absolutely. I've always thought of the type system as a ecosystem that is, you know, better as the sum of its parts. You know, it's the world could not function with only ENTPs or ISTJs. You know, it's designed this way. Like, we exist in the exact ratios that we exist in nature, and, you know, constantly tweaking, right, throughout time. But there's a reason, we're, I think, 3 or 4% of the population, and, certain types are higher or more represented because society needs the stability and the consistency. So there's got to be more sort of systems preserving people, and it'd be sheer chaos if we were 100%, ENTPs, for example.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Oh, no. I highly embrace it. But, but I
we
think
exist to create it. Yes.
Yes, exactly. We exist as a cohesive system that requires all types to work together and understand one another. So
Right.
yeah.
So now, as far as you're launching this, it is soon approaching that you're going to launch Type School, and I am curious as to what do you want to reiterate to the rest of the MBTI community?
Absolutely. So we have kind of two core, propositions, value offerings, and one is the course component, and that is simply to to make you a better you. Like learn according to your type, learn from the experts, and just become the best version of you. And then the other half is the community aspect. We're also a social network. That is type based. So we'll have what's called kind of like the Harry Potter houses. They're called type houses.
Right.
So NTP house, SFJ house, et cetera. And that's what the dean system is actually about. Eric Thor is the dean of NFJ house,
NFJ,
and Matt
yeah.
Sherman is the dean of NFP house.
NFP, yeah.
And then we have some professors emeritus or professors emeriti. Dario Nardi and Victor
NTP.
Galengo are both professors emeritus, and so it's a way for people to interact with all types and find people of their own type, because I understand my experience has been that most people have never met, at least in real life, people of their own type or their sort of neighboring types, and it's a jarring experience. Like, each time I see it happen, and by jarring I mean like mind-blowing, amazing, and I only know that because I started and ran for about 2 years a international philosophical discussion group for ENTPs and INTPs specifically. And we used
awesome.
type to market, like $0. We found thousands of NTPs from around the world, like 72 countries or something, 82, that came together and applied for membership, did a video interview, and then were let in. But yeah, we had multiple events weekly. But
Interesting.
so every time someone came in, they were like just blown by, like, I'm talking to a mirror, like this is the first time I've ever talked to another ENTP or INTP. So I want to give that experience to other people, so that they can, there's always, maybe they can learn from someone that has mastered, one aspect of being that type, that they have, and vice versa. We all have areas of strengths and weaknesses and levels of development, but this is just a way to accelerate personal development, and then also bring the different types together. Like I said, we work better as a team, so certain pairings or groupings of types are better suited to start a business or
Right.
create a work of art, etc. So this way we really
Or
foster
launch a type
collaboration.
school.
Exactly. Yeah, we want to bring the types together. Exactly. Yeah, for the launch of Type School, we need all kinds of
Yes.
types. We need
Yes.
all the instructors, of every single type.
Right.
But yeah, those are the two things.
Oh, and now the great thing about this is because it's brand new. It hasn't even gotten out to the public yet. But I see all the potentials. Of course, I've got extroverted intuition, but I see think tanks coming into like for think tanks with professors or deans, or think tanks where it could actually be video, and we could have it up like a news bulletin for the students, so it'll be like maybe a monthly think tank sort of a thing. I see like dating within the group. I see it's endless, and this is what you had, this epiphany, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I see that's what happened to me. It's like, but I'm a Enneagram 7 wing 8, which you're an Enneagram 3 wing 4, so you're more of a, I'm gonna get this thing done. I'm more of a like, hey, I got a great idea. Let me inspire everybody around me to do what I should be doing myself. But
Yeah.
you're actually doing it. So, yeah, that's really
Well,
amazing.
thank you, thank you. I do think part of that is my Enneagram. Threes are known for their, motivation and their sort of need to achieve.
Mhm.
And four is kind of the like about personal identity, but
Mm.
but it's not without a lot of struggle. Without going into too much detail, but for many years I struggled with getting things done, taking action on my never-ending ideas that I had to start all at once, of course, and obviously procrastination and time management. But something clicked recently. I've been really, really working on it for a long time, and then this past year, I made some strides, and then in the past few months, just it really, really ramped up. But I think that coupled with that work and that struggle, coupled with my Enneagram, really made me, laser focused on execution, because, we do ideation all day long, like in our sleep, rule. But I have this analogy where, how sometimes grocery carts will veer one direction and you have to push the other direction to make it go straight. So if one side of the cart is ideation and the other side is execution, we are really lopsided. Like the ideation part is the
Interesting.
part that,
So we're going in
pushes forward.
circles.
So exactly.
Hopefully you don't have
What
one
I
of those
say-
carts with a squeaky wheel. I hate those. Oh,
Oh,
is
those are
that
the worst. Or like
was
the kind of wiggly
squirrel
wheels.
back? And
see a squirrel?
try not to hit the squirrels. Yeah, they're all over the place, aren't they?
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
was
I'm
like,
outside. It's getting cold out here, and wondering where
fire.
Carl is. The ENTP squirrel. I don't know. I might have to replace him. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
might have
Yeah,
to
so-
replace him with another character. But so this
so I'd
is
say if you, as ENTPs, if we put all our energy on pushing on the execution side of the cart, we might have a chance of going straight, and that's
Right,
just the
right.
reality thing. So
Yeah.
I've been really zeroed in on execution recently, and
Right.
I want to make this happen. I think.
Well, we have two lobes also in our brain. I mean, we're two different people. One side of the brain is different than the other side. So, we are very duality is part of our nature physically. So that's interesting. Yeah. Now, with your Enneagram being 3 wing 4, what are we know the strengths, but what would you say the biggest weakness is for the Enneagram 3 wing 4? What's your kryptonite? We know your superpower, but
Yeah, that's a really good question, because most of the time we focus on each type's strength, but I think when a 3 is unhealthy, I think we go to 9. I think when we're healthy, we develop qualities of 6s, and I think 9. I think it's like inaction, sort of
Oh.
laziness, putting things off, sort of analysis paralysis. I think those
Yeah.
things. But I think also, the other side of the coin of achievement or like drive is probably burnout, or like likelihood of burnout and stress and taking on too much and spreading ourselves too thin. So, kind of, what's it called? Not overwork, but,
that's why you play first.
yes, like build in, play, schedule it in.
Yeah. I would
but
say
yeah.
as a 7, obviously 7 wing 8. I've researched it, and it's like the 7s are like beams of sunshine, rays of light, and I think that's probably our superpower. But when it comes down to weaknesses, it's I think it really is. It has to do with our extroverted intuition. It's both a creative power, superpower, but it's also, like you said, it kind of petrifies you with too many options. So it then becomes a source of laziness. But since I'm so against laziness, I'll just come up with something else to do besides the thing that I need to do. But like, well, I'm not lazy. Look at me. I'm inventing a new thing over here. Well, you should have gotten your taxes done last week, dum-dum. And that's where it really becomes your superpower and your kryptonite together. It's like extroverted intuition is, like, for instance, I would always get the right score on the test the first time. And then I go back over my test and go, wait a minute, Is that a trick question? I'll bet that, I'm gonna change. I'll bet that's, or, it's just like we overthink things and then we go back and change them, and then it's like, so finally I just started saying, that's it. I'm just putting all C. From now on, it's just C, 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 and I get to go outside and have recess early, and everybody thinks I'm smart.
And you run amok. We see all the possibilities and at the same time, so that causes a lot of inaction sometimes and inability to make decisions. And that's why I think part of the reason we start so many projects and never finish, because we see the potential of several of them, so we can't help it but start on all of them, and then halfway through, or 10% through all of them, we see another shiny idea and we're like, squirrel, and we start that and then abandon something. So it's a constant struggle. So it is really hard to stay focused on one thing as an ENTP. So I've actually given up on the one thing only thing. I am currently working on 3 things simultaneously, with one on the back burner that is completely dormant right now. But it's just not possible. I think 3 is the equivalent of 1 for other people's, versus our like natural 10 to 15. But I think that's healthy. It's actually, we do need to kind of switch it up throughout the day or throughout the week or month, because we need that any stimulation, I think. So I firmly believe in not going against the grain in terms of your natural inclinations, and because I don't think that's a good idea. I think you're going to miss out on your superpowers, and then some weaknesses you can only kind of make the best of. You can't reverse it. We're never going to be ISTJs, so if we spend all our time trying to be that, like,
I could do the robot though.
Not the robots, but closer.
I'm an ISTJ. No, I'm just kidding. They don't have that much person. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being mean now.
INTJ.
They have plenty of personality. We just don't see it. One thing I was blown away by was your singing talent, and I was amazed to hear you singing in 25 languages. When I heard that, I actually got emotional. I actually started like a little tear coming out.
20 minutes later.
My dream is to get us all together in person, which I have, you saw the presentation, TypeCon 2023, right?
Yeah, I love it.
That'll be probably at the end of the year once we get,
I thought about that too. The MBTI, con, like, why there's nobody doing it? You got, selling tables and like,
we can get sponsors from like those like educational apps like Brilliant,
right.
We can have workshops and keynote addresses by all the instructors, and then small group discussions and workshops, helping instructors or even student-led. Like, it's
kindergarten. You like that idea? That's like,
I love it.
I love it. It's like, what the heck? That would be a very popular class.
Oh my gosh.
And you imagine the backgrounds that you could create for it, like happy-go-lucky backgrounds, and have some like guy or girl or both that are very young and playful and like Blue's Clues kind of a guy, But yeah, I mean, I could see myself producing a show using talent, but then it's like herding cats. You have to rely on other people. That's why I just do everything myself. I micromanage. When I run a marketing company, I turn it into a liner closer operation. I mean, like, I'll do all the work. You just show up, okay? Show up, make the calls, find out what they're interested in, hand me the phone, tell me if they're male or female. That way I can make my voice either, if it's female, I'm like, hi, I'm a little more metro. Or if it's a guy, I'm a little more gruff. Hey, this is Dan, Dan. Or if it's a woman, I'm Danny, Or if it's an analytical, I'm Daniel.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
I've navigated your type school website. It's incredibly intricate. It's so fun, and there's so many different things to dive into that I'm just looking at it. This is definitely the mind of an ENTP putting all this together. And also I believe you've got an INTP and another ENTP that are helping you in the creation of this site, which is just a great combination. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Hey, Mengju, or you go by Hugs Bunny, how can people get a hold of you and talk with you one-on-one? I mean, I know there's a way you've got everything set up for it's all structurized. You're a great person to talk to. How does my audience get in touch with you, and where do they go?
Absolutely. So I have, let's see. So you can obviously get in touch with me on all the socials. My username is I am Hugs Bunny on Instagram.
There's
And TikTok, and then
all over the place.
Yeah, and then I also run something called Dank Society, which it's not about weed. It's actually
Oh, that's you. Oh, you run that. Okay.
yeah. So
Not about, but it not necessarily not about it.
right, exactly. It's just not primarily about it. But
Right.
it's actually so I'm no longer part of that ENTP INTP group that I ran for a number of years, but I started a new one with kind of a different charter on sort of more on like functional things, and instead of like curiosity driven philosophical discussion, this one's more geared towards being the best version of ourselves and accomplishing the things we want to accomplish as ENTPs and INTPs, because my least favorite stereotype is that we can't get things done. We have all the great ideas but can't get anything and I've heard it so many times. It's like a broken record every time I talk to an ENTP, and it breaks my heart and also makes me angry. Like, stop it, just like do it, pick one and do it, and I know it's not easy. Snap out of it. I mean, it took me like 18 years to snap out of it, but like, so I know
Slow
it's
snap.
very slow-mo. And that's one of the reasons I want to, I'm not like cured or, totally fixed, and perfect, but I've made great strides, I think, and I want to help other people do the same, because I think the world is missing out on these amazing ideas that that we tend to have.
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking of more ideas. Imagine a preschool in your type school.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah.
I'm teaching it. I'll teach it.
Yep. Oh yeah. No.
But
Absolutely.
It's endless. It's endless. Everything you can imagine to improve your life, you can get the answers with people who have proven it, have a track record of it, and everyone knows. That's the great thing about having instructors who are content creators. That it's just great, and it's a great place to bring. If you are a content creator, I would strongly recommend you check out Type School and see what you can do to possibly get involved, and you can run a business from this place. I'm telling you, it's like a real school. We're in the halls of a very cool type school. Ooh, that rhymes.
we need a school spirit song, right? A fight
T-shirt.
song.
Everything. T-shirts,
Everything.
mugs, you name it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, first off, I'm so happy to hear, and it's expected that you can see the long tail of Type School. You can see all the possibilities, because when it wasn't like, we're going to teach some courses, and no, like we see the big picture, the ultimate, like many different directions this could go. So I'm glad you see it too, and of course you do. Yeah, so we're only just beginning, but yeah, to that point, so a couple things. Dank Society, I still run. We have a Discord server and a mailing list. I think it's danksociety.co, so you can sign up there, and then I'll send you an email and add you to the server. In fact, Dank Society, we have now finalized our launch dates. So you guys are hearing it first. I'm about to send an email out to all the instructors, but we're doing a soft alpha launch on February 7th, which will be comprised solely of Dank Society members. So, you heard it first. Join now if you want to get in before then. And Dank Society members will get 6 months free access to the platform, the network, and the ability to take courses. And then it'll also offering each instructor 5 invitations to offer, at their discretion to their personal network to receive the same benefit for accessing Type School on February 7th. And almost, pretty much all the features will be available. And then on March 1st, 3 weeks later, will be our beta launch with the audience members of our instructors. So, whether it's on YouTube,
Excellent.
blogs, podcasts. So you guys will get a unique link that Type School will only be able to be accessed through that link. Each of you will receive a personalized link, and all of your audience members will be able to join then with a paid subscription and possibly discounted. Still thinking about that, but and then there's a referral bonus for all instructors and for students of 15% of the referees first purchase, whether it's a year membership or a month membership. You'll get 15% of it back as a student to your account, and to your instructor, you'll receive it in your next paycheck. So,
So
yeah,
cool.
and then to speak to your point about Type School as a place to run your business, absolutely. So not only can you offer, structured courses that you can sell to our community at, your given price, depending on, how you set it, but and you'll, be paid accordingly per sale, and but you can also offer your coaching services there too. We have a whole coaching section. We offer typing sessions and coaching sessions through our official Type School, core team. But if you, as a creator, offer coaching, you can list that there, and you'll, so people can book through there, and you can also host events as an instructor. Probably in the future we'll do student-led events too. But yeah, you can host seminars, webinars, chats, discussions, you name it. The platform is really, really comprehensive. So yeah, it's a really exciting place to be.
Oh yeah. So that's what I'm excited about, is people like, Eric Thor and Matt Sherman bringing in their audience so that they have they'll be accessible like never before. It's really going to be interesting to see this. Yeah. And thank you for inviting me on board. I'm excited to see. I'm already busy navigating. It's so cool because it's like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube all mixed together with, and Discord server, everything. It's like all together as one place. You did it. I'm envious, but I'm not a player hater. I love what you've done. You beat me to it. It's like you did it, and I think that just goes with a big hand of applause, people. You can do anything you want to, anything you want to. When you're an ENTP, ENFP, you can do anything.
Don't let anything stop you, I swear. I've been learning recently, you can, at the drop of a hat, at any time you choose to be awesome. Like, there's nothing stopping you. You know what I mean? Like, we have full control of our, faculties. Like, you can just wake up and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be awesome now. Like, why not? Why be not awesome when I can be awesome? And
right.
just like,
there you go.
And that's kind of the thing I
It's self-talk. You're saying to yourself. You tell yourself this.
Yeah. So whenever I'm like, trying to make a decision, or like I'm kind of like being lazy, can't get out of bed, or like trying to skip my workout, I ask myself, what if I were awesome? Like, what would an awesome person do? Like, would they be on their phone for 4 hours until noon, in bed, and on a weekend? Would they skip workouts 5 days in a row? Like, no, an awesome person would just do it, So,
exactly.
Yeah, think of it that way. I mean, it's simple, keep it simple, stupid, KISS.
Yep. KISS theory.
Yeah, you can just do it, the only thing stopping you is yourself, and you can control yourself. So, ergo, you can become awesome whenever you want. So,
I shame myself in my self-talk. I shame myself by saying, so I'll come up with a great idea. I realize the logistics of it. It's going to be time consuming. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. And then my mind goes to something easier. But I could just do this now. Wait. And then I tell myself, don't be lazy. Don't be lazy, because I never consider myself lazy because I'm always doing something. I don't watch TV hardly ever. But it's just when I look at, I could create something right now, or I could sit back and do something like play video games or watch television or waste my time. But like you said, or I could be awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna be self-talking that too. But also I tell myself, don't be lazy, because being lazy is a shame to me. It's just like, you've got just one life here in the physicality. Live it. Make sure you're learning everything you can. Just cramming information day and night.
Yeah.
And never stop learning.
You can
Right,
never get an hour
yeah.
back of lazing around, or that day, or that week, or that year. You can't get it back, you know?
Yeah, it's gone. That's why I can't watch a movie more than once.
Yeah.
Unless it's Bo Burnham. I like that guy. I've seen his Inside movie like twice now. But yeah, good. Yeah, but anyways, do you have any questions for me, the host of Club ENTP?
Absolutely. So I'm curious. You seem also and not to be derogatory, but like a high functioning ENTP, you know?
Uh-huh.
Because like I said, you know, unfortunately, a lot of us, you know, just are not, reaching our potential. But, you know, it sounds like you've achieved some great success professionally, and you've actually gone forth and created this channel, you know, which is more than, you know, most people can say. There's a reason there's very few ENTP, you know, YouTubers out there. But yeah, so what's your secret? You know, how did you do it?
It's these magnetic bracelets that I wear. No, I'm kidding. Well, you know, I'm 53, so I'm running out of time. But what I have now more than ever is time. I am retired, so I don't have to go to a job daily and fight the traffic or anything like that. So I have a lot of time, so I have no excuses but to do what I dream. And I live on a 5-acre ranch, so I have an entire property to play with, to make, you know, koi ponds, or build buildings, whatever it is that I'm desiring to do, doing some kind of creative invention or whatever. So I've always got something to do with my time. But what really helps me, to be honest, with any ENTP, my best advice out there is, do not use alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Just don't. Just
I don't drink.
take it completely out of your life. Because if you want to achieve something, you got to think on the long term. And if you are, you know, I'm not an alcoholic. I just have a drinking problem. So when I drink, I have problems, you know. But so what happens is, you know, it's like you drink and you're now no longer in control of your life. You don't know, am I going to drink 3 beers? Am I going to drink 6? You really can't plan that, because your intuition goes out the window. So you then the next day, you're not feeling your same, you know, fervor, your fire. And people notice that. They like that about me, that I have this energy and I don't need to drink. And but if you want to achieve something, cut out everything that will stop you from doing it. Number 1, alcohol. Number 2, bad relationships. Just get rid of them. You know, surround yourself with people that are both critical and acknowledge your strengths. But they're not people that just go, yeah, you're great. I mean, I don't know, do you have any, I got a question. What's a good type for you to hang out with that's going to tell you the truth, not afraid to tell you the truth? INTJs, maybe? I love those guys. INTJs will tell you the truth.
I don't know many INTJs, I don't think. I actually know a lot of ENTPs and INTPs, so I think that's my primary source of kind of like important conversations, like advice, you know, bouncing ideas and support and things like that, because they understand me the most. You know, I feel like understanding is so important to me. You know.
But will an INTP tell you the truth all the time?
That's a good question.
They might avoid it.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, let us know in the note lines, everybody, what types can best confront an ENTP, but also acknowledge their good aspects. So not Debbie Downer, like, you need to do that. No, you're like, hey, you really did a great job. And you know what would be even better is if you did it like that, you know. I think an INTJ might be a good answer for that if you want to. And that's like, build your dream team, people. You know, build your dream team around you. That's another great way to help you. And I think that, just realize that your strengths and your weaknesses are the same thing. Your extroverted intuition is going to be your superpower, but it's also going to be your kryptonite. It's gonna make you second guess. You got to control it, you know. And hold on. Now, if you heard that, no backups for 2,749 days. That's an ENTP, no backup.
Or like 5,000 unread emails? Yeah.
Yeah, I do read my emails, so I do. But anyways, well, thank you for coming onto the show, and I'm excited for my audience to get to know you on your website. All of your links are going to be down in the description below, so they can get a hold of you. And I look forward to seeing what you accomplish in the year 2023.
Thank you so much, and likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for this,
Absolutely.
this opportunity. And just one last thing, if anyone wants to chat, I do have a Calendly booking link that I don't know if it's placed anywhere, but I'll be sure to include it. It's just book a slot with me. I always love chatting with awesome people. Like that's probably one of my favorite pastimes. Besides singing and dancing and thinking, is talking to.
Oh, dancing too.
Yeah, dancing.
Oh wow, we got another show right there.
Right? Yeah, part 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, feel free to book a time. I'd love to chat with you, get to know you individually. So yeah, thanks again.
Excellent, excellent. Well, again, thank you for coming onto the show. Love to have you back. And let's see, you know what time it is right now, right? It's viewer mail.
Me, I'm Daparu, the Steampunk. And it's time for viewer mail. Even though I'm on vacation, I can still read your comments from my favorite 5-star scrapyard resort. Pretty nice, huh? From episode 14, Blood Moon writes in and says, I like the flow of this video. Important topics were discussed, and it made you more relatable. Good job. I'm not sure what I did any differently, except I did lose some 30-weight oil right before that show. Thanks for noticing. Next, M-Dent writes in protest. Are you bringing ghosts to create turmoil? I know that word. Oh, the answer is no, silly. I have plenty of turmoil. I use it all the time on my rusty ring nuts and screwballs. Next, Running Box writes in and says, at the beginning of the video, I almost stopped because the chaos is not interesting. However, I fast-forwarded, and the topic of self and perspective was actually interesting. You seem more genuine during that discussion. Well, Runny Nose, this is becoming a running theme. It seems my audience wants me to be more authentic and not so stereotypical as an ENTP prototype. I'm glad you could see glimpses through my absurdism. As an ENTP, I am a different character depending on the company in my presence. We are like the weather in Florida. If you don't like it, wait around 15 minutes. Next, Benziant writes in and says, Club ENTP is the realest channel. That guy from Talking with Famous People, helping people don't fall asleep, is an imposter. Don't take him on. Well, Benziant, maybe he wants people to fall asleep watching his show to increase his alvo rhythm. If it wasn't for that, he'd have no rhythm at all. Can you imagine him on a dance floor? But don't worry, I won't take him on. He might beat me in a dance contest doing a robot. The writer continues to debate with another viewer, Shuffler, that I was just being sarcastic when I promised to change the name of my show if host Eric found me to be anything but an ENTP. Well, Shuffler and Benziak, I believed there was a high probability that host Eric would trick me with all trick questions. So if he said I failed the TI test, then I would have renamed the show what I should have originally, Club MBTI. You see, boys and girls, a good ENTP always finds a way to win, no matter what. And finally, Blonde Guy, he legit writes in from one of my other platforms wondering what ENTP movie character do I most identify with and why? Well, that's easy. Wall-E. But why? I don't know. But what I do know is that Wall-E is such an ENTP that they should have called him Wall-E NTP. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. Let's see. I'll see you next time when I return from my vacation. Until then, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, or this will happen. I'm out. Make sure to enjoy the chaos. Bye.